So welcome to our masterclass. Absolutely delighted that we've got Julie Brook with us from Especially For You Hairdressing today, who's going to talk us through simple steps around washing hair, around drying hair, and around styling hair. So thank you so much, Julie, and thank you for Sheila for modelling for us today. We absolutely appreciate it. So I'll hand over to you, Julie. Thank you.
Hi Emma, hi Sheila, Paul, anybody else who's logged on. I'm Julie, as Emma said. I own Especially For You Hairdressing. I've been a hairdresser for over 30 years. My dad was a barber, and I started in his old shop, which turned into like a unisex salon, and I worked there since I was 14. And then I went on to do in salons in Bolton, and then I went mobile. The reason why I started Especially For You Hairdressing was about 5 years ago. My dad had dementia, and it made me realise for my mum as a carer, and for me when I could help, how difficult it was for somebody who you was caring for to get the hair done. We were really fortunate that my dad enjoyed having his hair done, but lots of other people find it quite stressful. So I wanted to try and find a way to make it more pleasurable and easier and less hassle and stress for the carer as well. So I went and did a little bit of research and realised that I have 3 systems of washing hair. So the first one, if somebody is immobile or they can't get to the bathroom, they're in a wheelchair, they can't stand up at the sink, we have what's called a blow-up sink. So this literally blows up. I'm going to show you what it comes like. So it comes flat, it's flat packed. So you literally blow it up. There, you've got a little stopper to stop the water coming out. Here, you've got a tube. So you can either leave it open, and with the tube, you can fit this funnel. And this funnel then will go into a bucket, and the water could go in there. I don't tend to do that because I've been mobile. I've got so much equipment to take. I tend to just carry the blow-up sink to where I can empty it. So that's the first way of washing hair. Also, you're better to do a front wash for a client because you never know if they've got neck problems or back problems. So the safest way to do it is actually doing it forward. Unfortunately, your face gets wet, but you can dry it off. If there's anybody who's bedridden and they can't get out of bed, you can also use this in bed, which what you would do is you would get a waterproof cover. You would put that underneath the person's head, put that down on the bed so it makes sure that it's safe and it's not going to get wet. Apply the sink onto there, and then we'll use Frida. What would happen is you would get the hair and you would literally, so that is quite safe. You lay down flat. You could, even if it's one of these beds where it tilts up, you wouldn't really, because the water could then run down and it could wet the bed through, and then you've got a problem then because you've got to hoist somebody out of bed because it's all wet. So that's another way of doing it. We also have, which I'm going to demonstrate on my mum. I'm just going to pop this round up. Can you see okay?
Yeah.
We also have what's called towel off shampoo. So this is a really easy option that if somebody's just come out of hospital and they're feeling really weak and they don't feel like they want to be bothered with putting water and shampoo on, this is a really good product. So what you do is, it smells really nice. It smells of apple. It's quite cold, so I don't know if you'd be able to put it in a bowl and just warm it up. But get a towel and you would apply it so you're basically saturating the hair. Massaging that in. What happens is it does actually lather like a shampoo, which I'll bring the camera up so you can see.
Did you say it was dry shampoo?
It's called towel off shampoo. So it's a liquid, but you don't use water.
Right.
To off, which I'll show you in a minute. So basically, if you look, that is lathered. So it's as if you're washing it with shampoo, but you obviously, traditionally, you wet the hair first and then you apply shampoo. This, you just put it in like that, and then you get a head towel, which you can buy these from any stores, most stores like Asda or Home Bargains. You apply that and you basically massage it like that. And that's why it's called toweled off, because eventually all this soap just disintegrates into the towel.
Never heard of that.
What I must say about this, it's an easy fix, short term. You wouldn't want to be doing this every week because eventually it will leave the hair with a film on. And that's not, you don't want that then, because then you're going to have problems. So you literally then comb the hair, and then it's ready for styling then. It smells nice and it's really easy to do. So what we can do, you can message me and I can show you how to get that. I think this one's from Amazon. So the next one is we'll talk about the different types of hair that you can have. So you can have normal hair, which has got, it's not dry and it's not greasy. Greasy hair and very dry hair. If you've got greasy hair, it's really hard sometimes with a normal shampoo to break down that grease. So I normally recommend if you use a lemon shampoo or an apple shampoo, and apply it first on the hair, a little bit of shampoo, massage it all in, and that breaks up the grease, and then rinse and then wash as normal, shampoo as normal. Dry hair, you would just condition after, and normal hair, you would sometimes 1 week you'd use a conditioner, 1 week you wouldn't use the conditioner because you don't want that to build up. I have also found, which is really good, some of my clients, which I'm just going to find a picture for you and then it'll just explain. Some of my clients, if they've been in hospital and they've come back and they've not had the hair washed for weeks and weeks and weeks, that can start to show on the scalp, and it's a really dry scalp and it's just a build up of grease and grime because they've not had the hair washed. Some people have not had the hair washed for 12 weeks if they've been in hospital. So the way to get rid of that is, if it's as bad as that, the best thing to use is coconut oil. So what you would do, this is natural coconut oil, solid. So what you'd do is you would apply an amount on your finger, you'd rub it in, and then it turns to liquid. You massage that in all the areas of the dry scalp, and you just massage it in, leave it overnight, and then hopefully you'll see the dryness start to come off the scalp. The following day, before you apply water, you apply shampoo. You massage that shampoo in because that has to break up all the grease of the coconut oil. If you don't do that, the water would just run off and the hair would be really greasy. So what you do is you apply that, and you probably have to do that. If it was as bad as that, you would probably have to do that on a weekly basis. Once that has got a lot better, it would then probably leave the hair looking like that. So that's like a dry scalp, almost like dandruff. So if it was like that, you wouldn't use a lemon shampoo, you wouldn't use a shampoo for dry hair, you would use a medicated shampoo, which that's for dandruff, itchy and dry and sensitive scalps. So you would apply that and just make sure you rinsed it, and hopefully that would then get the scalp into like a better state, that then you could go on to a normal product. So I'm going to show you how this blow up sink works on our lovely model Sheila. So I think what we all have to remember is you want to make it stress-free. You want to make sure that you're not getting anxious and you're not thinking, oh, I've not got this and I've not got that. Make sure you've got everything to hand. So make sure you've got your shampoo, make sure you've got your jug, and make sure whatever you're going to have your water in, which I have a water carrier, but most people will just use a basin. So you apply your hot water, which I'm going to do now. So if you've got everything there, it just eliminates that anxiety. And a lot of people, especially who are living with dementia, have anxiety, and they have anxiety about having the hair washed. Some ladies who I do love having the hair washed. Other ladies that I do really don't like having the hair washed. So it's all taking that anxiety away, you know, making sure if you've got something to play with in the hands while you're washing the hair. So I have like these mitts. So if I can see that they're a little bit anxious, I'll put the hands in the mitts, and it just, they've got somewhere to put the hands then. So it just makes them feel a bit more, they've got a security blanket, because these are what these are, and they're like a security blanket. Right. Okay. Right, that's fine. So we've got our water, we've got our shampoo, and we've got our jug. So what Sheila's got on is like a waterproof kit, which a lot probably will not be able to get one of these. So I'd use like a plastic apron. What you can get those, they're disposable. Just make sure that you've covered the neck. The next is to make sure that the head is as far over as possible. So you're making sure that the head's not touching the bottom of the sink, because you still want your plant to breathe. And then you lift it, pouring the water on, try and cup it away from the face so it's not all running all over the face. And you've got your shampoo. So I've got the actual plug in here, so the water's not running down. And then you just literally massaging. Always try and get round to the front, behind the ears, because behind the ears you sweat a lot. And then we're going to rinse that off. It might look easy to you, me doing this, but it does take some practice. So if the first time you're getting water all over, don't panic, because you'll find your way of how it's easy for you. You know, you can put this, we're on the breakfast bar at the moment, but you can put them on portable tables where a wheelchair can go under. I have a lady, she's in a wheelchair all the time. She's got no mobility, so she has like a table what goes over. There we go. You've got your towel around your shoulders so that you can bring that forward, and then you can make sure that your client's not got water dripping all down the face. All right, Sheila, would you like to just wipe your eyes? So I'm going to move that for you. So we've talked about the different shampoos, we've talked about treatments if you've got dry hair, we've talked about if you've got greasy hair, use a lemon shampoo. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how we're going to style the hair and the best easy options to style hair.
Julie, can I just ask a question about conditioner?
And yes.
So when applying, is there any particular method about putting conditioner on a hair? Because I've just got short hair, so I can just put mine all over the place. It doesn't really make any difference. But if you've got, how would you apply conditioner for someone who's got longer hair?
Conditioner, if you've got, you can have two types of hair. You can have a greasy root and then you can have dry ends. So if that's your hair texture, don't apply the conditioner to the roots because you're just adding to make it more greasy. So if you just literally put it on the middle lengths and ends, and then you rinse it off like you've just rinsed the shampoo off. If you've got dry hair, I tend to say you would condition it once a week. My hair's dry because it's naturally curly one and I colour it, so I would never wash my hair and not have conditioner because it'd take me probably 10 minutes to comb through it. So really, you don't massage it into the scalp unless you've got one like grey hair and that, you know, and the pigment's gone and it's dry, or two, you've got processed hair, so it's over processed with colouring or perming, especially perms as well, because it can get quite, they can dry out. Medication can dry your hair as well. It can do both. It can make your hair greasy, it can dry your hair. So I would just tend to say do the middle ends, middle lengths and ends, and then rinse it as normal. Make sure that you rinse it out. If you don't rinse it out properly, you'll know because you'll feel a film on the hair. So one, it'll not feel like it's dry, it'll feel greasy. So just make sure that you rinse it out. Right, so we're going to start off with blow drying. So as Paul said, Lizzie's hair, you can't get any volume in it. So what you would do, Paul, is I'm going to just put this in and dry. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I'm going to just do it fast. So you use your finger and you literally dry it more natural. A bit like Sheila said. Because if you try and start going in with a brush, it will take you so long because you've got to dry it from the roots and then pull it down. And by the time you've done one section, your arm's aching and you can get frustrated. So you're better to dry it off naturally. So what I'm going to do, because obviously this is going to take some time, I'm just going to do half the head and then send Sheila home with the other half wet. I'm not really.
So you're actually drying it now before you set it?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're drying it before you go near it with a brush. And
I'm just lifting the root. So you're giving it the volume by lifting the root up. Always make sure that your dry is warm if you're using a dryer and you've got a cool shot. So if it starts to feel a bit too warm near the ears, press the cool shot. And what that does is it just cools it near the ears because the ears are sensitive. So I'm just going to do the front section here, then I can show Paul how we can do rollers. And what I'm going to do, Paul, I'm going to show you on one of the model's heads because that's like a bob. So I can show you how to be able to do Liz. So once that's all dry, if you still feel that you need to put some body in, which if you lift it by the roots like I've just showed, so you're lifting, so you're putting the brush in and you're lifting. I don't know if you've seen one of these before, but it's a heated brush. So
yeah, we've got one. Never use it.
Can you not use that?
I've just never used it. In fact, we had two and I give one away to my daughter-in-law.
This one you use on dry hair because all what heats up are these elements here. So you've got two different settings. You've also got, that doesn't turn now, but then you've got this to press and it turns. So if you got the hair stuck in straight away, you would turn it off, press that, and then you'd release the hair. A lot of people panic when these are in because they're hot, and if they've got it stuck, just make sure you turn it off first at the main. So once that's warming up, this is what will give Sheila the height, what she might need. These, Paul, are really easy to use. The best one is it's actually, you can use it on damp hair. So you would dry the hair off, and then it's got like a dryer inside it, so it blows hot air. So you'd literally put the brush in like that, and then you turn it, and it just bring it for, you know, some height in it. So you're literally turning it like that.
Yeah.
So you're not leaving the hair in it too long. So you've got your fingers here like that. Put it around the brush, and then you're turning it.
Is there air blowing through that as you're doing it?
And this is just a hot brush, but they do air brushes, which are really good investment. I think they're probably about £30, but at least then you're not having to dry all the hair off first and then have to use this. You would do it on damp hair and it's drying it and styling it as you have got the hair in, and you're just literally turning it like that.
That is about an inch and a half in diameter, isn't it?
Yeah, what tends to happen is, if you go for one what's a dearer product, you'll get a few brushes in it. So you'll get like a medium style, you'll get a smaller one like that, and you might get a smaller one. So you've got different brushes to put on. So this would come off, it will click off, and you put the brush on which you would be right for you.
If you've got long flowing hair down your back, you'd put a bigger one on.
Yeah, you would, yeah, like this. So what you do if you what's flowing down, or you'd always have to make sure that you're turning it, because that's when it can get stuck. If it gets stuck, you just release it like that.
Yeah. I've had some untangled brushes from Lizzie's hair, you know, when she used to do her own. just once a year, something like that. She'd get a brush stuck in the back and.
Yeah. Well, if that happens, say you do get some, which I'll show you actually. Let me just unplug this. Right. So say I got this hair stuck and it was wrapped around and I'm pulling it and I'm panicking, I'd make sure I turned it off at the mains and then get something that you can ease the hair out.
Yeah.
If you do this and you try and you're pulling it and tugging it and then you're turning this, it will just tangle even more. So you need to
take me about 10 minutes to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so I'm just going to ask my mum to go and sit over at the other side and I can show you with...
Coffee time, Sheila.
And I will finish your hair after. I'm not going to send her home like that. Right. This is our lovely model, Elsa. Just going to make sure that this is tight enough.
We call her Marie Antoinette, really.
Well, when I was in lockdown, she had long hair and I was fed up. So one day I decided to give her a bob. So we're going to do a bob. So with a bob, when you're drying a bob, you need to dry all the hair off as quickly as you possibly can. You want it as easy for yourself so you're not going to get bored of doing it all frustrated. You're going to put your brush under, you've got your dryer and you're just going to pull it down and then you're going to turn it. So you're lifting the hair up and that's what gives you a little bit of volume, bringing it down and then you're just turning it at the bottom.
You have to pull it out like that.
So as Paul said, sometimes it is time consuming. So if you're going to do rollers like you do, Paul, these are only small, these are Velcro rollers, these are brilliant.
Yeah, just fall out. The hair's that fine.
Sorry?
The hair is that fine. I just can't get them to stick in.
Well, you need to take a bigger section then. So say this is Lizzie's hair. Now right. You've got like a section there. It's dry, so you've dried it, or you've almost dried it. You get your Velcro roller and you start at the bottom, so you turn the hair under and you just keep turning it and then it stays on. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Maybe I've been putting them in. I tried it when it was wet. Maybe that's where I'm wrong.
It will take hours, Paul, to dry. So you need to do it when it's damp. So dry the hair off quickly, and then when it's damp, you're applying at the bottom of the hair and you're tucking it under with your finger. So you're just tucking it under with that finger.
Yeah.
Securing it like that, and all you need to do is put probably, if it's fine, probably 6. So you're combing the hair because it's a bob, what Liz has got as well, you're combing it down, so you're really basically just wanting the underneath to be turned over.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to make it look easy.
You can always PM me, private message me, and I can talk you through it. When you've got Liz and you're doing a hair, I don't mind doing that at all. We can talk you through it. So that's another one. Now I'll just go and get my other rollers. These ones are a lot harder to use. So this is a traditional setting roller. So you've got that and you've got your pin. These are a lot harder to apply. So you're taking a section and you tend to use these ones when the hair is a bit more damper than what you'd use the Velcros. So then you're lifting this section up, you're turning that under and you're turning it. But what happens with these ones is then you've got to apply the pin. And that's where you might end up in A&E because you need to make sure that you don't apply it through the scalp. And that's another way of doing it. But I think for easiness and safety, these are the best ones to buy. And can you see that now? That's not been in, what, a couple of minutes, and it's turned under now.
Right.
So you've got that I've done, and you've got that side that I haven't done.
Yeah, I can see the difference.
And then it's the same with the heated brush as well, which probably would be a lot easier for you to do if you had one of those where you're combing it, so you're combing it into your fingers and then you're just turning it and you're leaving it for a couple of seconds and then you're releasing it. And I think that would be a lot easier for you to do.
I'll dig it out and try again.
But make sure that you've dried, the hairs. If it's not where it's got a dryer inside it, so it's not blowing hot hair, then you don't do it on wet hair or damp hair, you do it on dry hair.
I also do it for drying hair.
So for drying hair, those are basically just for styling hair.
Styling. They should call them hair styling, something, not hair dryers.
So that's by using the brush.
Yeah.
But obviously that's dry hair. If you've got very long hair and you basically don't want to have it styled into a style, but you want to wear it up, there's lots of different ways you can wear the hair up, which are really, really easy. So you just be literally putting the hair in a ponytail. Because a lot of ladies that I do just want to have the hair long, but they don't want it all over the faces. So it's finding something what's really easy for them to do. So basically, you just put it in a ponytail, like that. Let me just get everything in. Then this is called like a donut, and it's to help to just hair off the face in a bun, and it's quite easy to do. So basically just lifting the hair up, you'll have a bobble, you secure one bobble onto the hair, so it's like in a ponytail, like that. Then if you want to be a bit more adventurous, you would use the donut. So you'd literally put the hair through there. And then you just bring all the hair round. You've got another bobble. You apply that bobble on top of the donut.
Right round the side.
Just all of that has gone round it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a remainder of hair. So there's your bun. So you've got that hair there. So all you need to do with that is, if you've got some little Kirby grips, is just twist that round. Twist round, and then you just put your grip in. So the hair is out of the way then.
My daughter used to do that to her hair. She was an air hostess, and it was handy for that job.
That's really easy. there's another way of, because obviously when you've got long hair, you don't want to just have it in just what a ponytail and do nothing. You might want to go out and feel that you want it to look a little bit more feminine. Can't say the word feminine. So you could do where you're brushing the hair. You might want to leave a little bit down. So you just take a section from ear to ear to the middle. Let me just bring that so you can see what I'm doing. You have a little bit of hair left down. And then you put a bobble there to make a ponytail. And then in between that ponytail, in the middle, if you put your fingers through, and then you push the hair through.
Whoa.
Catch it. Push the bobble up. And it's as simple as that. You've got a nice little knot effect. And that's literally just putting a bobble, putting your finger down and feeding that ponytail through.
I'm doing that style tomorrow on my little girl. That's brilliant.
Oh, you made noise there.
No, not enough here.
It's so easy to do, especially if you've got a male carer and you know the partner's hair's long. You know, you don't want it all over your face. That's one of the easiest ways to do it. You can even do that if you're doing a full ponytail.
You'll have to get a wig, Emma.
Can borrow one of these heads.
I don't need a head. I've got a 6-year-old daughter with really long hair.
So again, that's all the hair. So I'm literally just putting my fingers through, making a gap, pushing that ponytail through. Pulling tight. And that's another way. So you've just got that left. But you've got the neatness of the hair coming back and it's not all over the face. So is there anything you'd like to ask me about products or anything that will really... Yeah.
You were saying about conditioning once a week.
I'd only say if you wash your hair once a week and you've got normal to oily hair, you wouldn't condition it once a week.
Oh, well, I mean, I've just carried on from where Liz left off. You know, when she was working, she used to wash it every morning before she went to work. And washing it, conditioning it as well.
Right, so...
When I took over, I was washing it and conditioning it every day. And then my daughter suggested, she's not here, she don't live in this country. Oh, I won't do it every day. So now I do it every other day or every third day maximum.
Right, so when you say you would do it every other day, why would you do it every other day? Are you doing it because you feel it needs washing because it's greasy? Or are you doing it because you can't get the volume in the hair and it's just flat?
It just looks a lot better and it puts a big smile on Liz's face when she looks in the mirror.
Then you do what she's happy with. If that's what makes her happy and you're happy to do it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
A lot of people
don't
enjoy having the hair done and some people don't. Some people don't want to have it done every week. So if that's the case, you do what's easiest for you and for the person that you're caring for. So you might do it once a week and you might, one in between, you might use this. And then that takes all the stress and pressure. Because it is, you know, I've cared with my mum for my dad. My mum was his main carer, but I did help. And sometimes certain things are stressful. And if you worked up, it makes it even bigger than what it has to be. So it's just to make whatever makes Liz happy, and she's what likes to have it done on a daily basis, that's fine, but don't condition it on a daily basis, because that's what makes the hair limp and lifeless. So that's why you can't get the body in the hair.
Flaming crows. I thought that's what put body in it.
There's a dry shampoo as well. So say Liz doesn't feel like having it washed one day, but it's a bit limp and lifeless, then what you would do is,
How often do you ladies wash your hair?
Once a week.
Just once.
I do a week, because if I wash it more than twice a week, one, it takes me longer to do because it's naturally curling, then I have to straighten it. And also, because mine is dry naturally, I don't want to keep taking the natural oils out. If you've got naturally oily hair, that means you've got sebaceous glands what are overactive, so that makes it greasy. So sometimes you do have to wash it every day. But if you use certain shampoos that are specifically for greasy hair, that will help. If you're just using a normal shampoo, then that's why it's also going greasy as well, because you're not using the correct shampoo for the correct type of hair. I have to condition mine every day, every time I wash mine, because it's dry naturally and it's coloured. But Liz, I would do it every other time. I wouldn't condition it every time. If it feels that when you've washed it, you're struggling to comb it through, you can get certain sprays, and that's like a detangle spray. You just slightly spray it through, and then always make sure that you hold the hair and give it some tension. So if you've got that tension, if you do just go in like that, it's going to pull the hair and it's going to hurt. So if you can do it where you're doing from the middle ends and the ends where most of the tangling will be, and you're lifting it out like that, and you're getting your comb, it'll comb out a lot easier for you. And always try and use a wide tooth comb as well, not that side. But use the dry shampoo. So what you would do is, the dry shampoo, you would put in that section there. So you would spray it like that. So it's hitting the root area, because that's where you want the lift, and that's where it goes greasy the most. So a dry shampoo, I don't tend to like dry shampoos, but if you've got a good, like an oily hair, then that's brilliant for in between shampoos.
We have some stuff. It's quite expensive, little bottles of, I think it's leave-in conditioner, oil for conditioning the hair dry. Do you ever use them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. In fact, I have one. It's not actually out, but I have one. It's got coconut oil in. It's got all different, and I spray that on my hair before I use any heat products, because what that does is it puts a coating on, so it's not going to dry my hair even more.
Oh, so, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
You're going to use it like that. You don't use it on the root part. Use it on the middle ends and ends.
Right.
And you saturate the hair with it as well. You only need a small amount and comb it through. You saturate the hair with it, that's when your problems start, because you can't style it then. It's got too much product on the hair.
She does look very greasy when it's on, in comparison to just after I've washed it.
You don't need a lot of that product. What happens is, if you put too much on, it just builds up and builds up, and then it's harder to style, and then you can't get the volume in it because it's heavy on your hair.
Yeah.
So I would say condition every other time unless it's very dry. Does Liz have colour in her hair, or is it her own natural colour?
She had it coloured possibly nearly a year ago or in January. Now, what does that mean? Has she got colour in her hair?
Well, yeah, because what will happen is if she's had highlights or she's had a full head colours, what happens is she'll have a regrowth. So this part of her hair will be a natural colour, and then middle lengths and ends will probably have some of the colour on. That's what I can see from here anyway. So what you'll see, Paul, is the hair from there.
Yeah.
Is Liz. So the hair got your natural regrowth because you've not had it done since January. That is your natural hair. So that's classed as virgin hair. So there's nothing on it. It's your own natural hair. So that texture will be far different from the texture here, because the texture here has got some of the colour in. So if you did a conditioner, don't apply it here because it doesn't need it. That's got its own natural oils in anyway. But here where it feels drier and you're feeling that it's tangled, then apply it there.
Right. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. That's exactly where it needs it.
Well, that's where you put it. And also the products as well that you're using. You don't need to overload with products. If you do that, that's what makes it a lot harder to, dry.
Right. It's a lot to take in.
Oh, yeah. You're very lucky to have somebody who's got a lot of patience to do your hair, and I think it's lovely that you're maintaining what Liz used to like to do.
But she, like I say, it was every morning. She wouldn't go to work without washing her hair. And I must admit, when I've been leaving it a day or two, is it right saying it looks greasy?
Yeah. I've got a picture on here as well. We've done the dry scalps, haven't we? That is. So,
has she got greasy hair if after a day or so it looks greasy?
So if it looks like the day after or the day after that, it's because the natural hair is greasy. But obviously this part where it's drier and there's colouring, that isn't. So if that's the case, you could even just put the dry shampoo on, just on that section. Massage it in, comb it. So that'll stop you from having to do it every single day then.
Yeah, like I say, I don't mind doing it. Because I either get in the shower with her or in the bath when she's having a bath or do her hair, which is far easier.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And if you're happy to do that and, you're maintaining what Liz, used to do and what she likes, and that's lovely. It's all about making it easier and it's your dignity at the end of the day, isn't it? My dad used to, my mum used to dress my dad up and he'd have his shirt on and his jumper on because that's how he used to like to look. So it's all about how we feel we want to look, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Hair done every week, every day. That's brilliant. In fact, I might come round and you can do mine every day.
You have to get in the shower with me.
Oh, wait a minute. It's a whole different video we're recording.
Oh, Paul, we've probably got a girl's world in my mum's attic. I'm going to drag it out and you can practice on it. I'm sure we had one from when we were little. I'll get Claire to look for it for you.
A girl's world.
That's what that model is.
Oh, I see.
Old.
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah. The girl's world.
Oh, I see.
In the world, it used to have like, you could pull the hair out and it'd get longer, or you could push it in and it went shorter.
Magic.
I bet your
But-
daughter had one.
With Paul, if you know, you can always private message me. I can tell you, you know, give you a list of products what might be helpful, or you could send, you know, a photograph of Lizzie's hair, and I can have a look in more detail.
I'll have a go with what you've done and try and think on that. A hairdryer is not for drying hair.
No, it's the hair, it's the hot brush that isn't for drying hair. So your hot brush, that's a hot brush, but you can get in. So it's a styling brush.
Yeah.
But you get them and they're an hot hair airbrush. So you do it not saturated, but if it was dried off and it was damp, then you'd use one with what blows air. I can't say it. Hair. But if you was using just a styling brush, which is a heat brush, it's just there where it heats up, so you're not getting any air coming out of it. So you'd use it on dry hair, and you just turn it, and then you pull it out, and that would just give you some lift to the hair.
So I don't have to go out and buy a Dyson.
Oh gosh, no. I don't even buy those.
Let's see if I can...
On the market, there's some good ones. I mean, I recommend the Revlon one because that's the airbrush. If you wanted it, an easy option. If you wanted it where you could just use your own hairdryer and dry it off quickly, and then use one of these, then you could just use a hot brush. But it would.
Yeah, Liz did send for one years ago, and it's upstairs, but I can't remember. I don't think she ever used it. She asked me for help on how it works. And then another one appeared in the house. It might have been my daughter's. She went to America, so she left it behind.
Yeah.
It's no good over there. And so...
rollers, just you need to make sure that the hair is almost dry or damp. It can't go in wet, or else it takes 2 days to dry in Velcro rollers.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Thanks for being patient with me.
Yeah.
No. I love my job. I've never wanted to do anything else. If I feel that it can help people, then I do a lot more master classes. This is my first one, so I was a bit nervous, and I'm sometimes not sure how my words are going to come out, but I've really enjoyed it, and thanks to Emma and Rachel who've involved me in this. I just hope it'll help others.
Oh, Julie, it's been absolutely brilliant. I'm conscious that it's 12 o'clock now. It's been a really, really good session, and I think everybody's learned something from today. Even if you've just got short hair like me, we've all learned something from it. So I just like to thank you and thank your mum Sheila for being the model. And obviously we're conscious that Sheila's got half a wet head, but she will be dried off, we've been told, before she's sent home. So no mum was hurt in the making of this video.
Okay.
Oh, you're good. Julie has very kindly offered to do us a session next week, which is all about helping male grooming. So that's ears, that's nose, that's hair, that's shaving. I suggested that Sheila just wore a beard next week, but she said she's not going to do that. So it'll be slightly different because we won't have a live model. But that was really kind. So anyone who's caring for a husband or for a dad and maybe wants some advice around all of those areas, then Julie's going to help us next week. So I hope that'll be useful for you. And if that was your first masterclass, Julie, I don't know where we go next, because that was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for joining. and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
I've got a sign in the window already.